in my own professional journey, I remember my very first job was in an institution. I worked at Furcrest. And thinking about that as the only option kids had, in terms of they were either home doing nothing or they were at Furcrest. My next job was in a center where the kids came on a bus 5 days a week. And I remember as a young therapist thinking, where are the moms? Where are the families? These kids, you know, we can do things with them, we can help them learn things, but then they go home and the parents don't have an idea what they've been doing all day.
Well, February 14th, 1979, Timothy Lyle Bounds was born. Our first child, my parents' first grandchild. And it was a difficult delivery, but he came out, all the digits were fine, it was great. But he cried a lot, and at one point his eyes started doing some weird stuff. So at 4.5 months, we took him to the doctor, diagnosed with hydrocephalus, a shunt was put in, and he was a different child. But the doctor at the time also said, there may be brain damage down the road. Timmy walked first, did not crawl, didn't really talk.
He never said mommy or dada. And so when he was 2, we took him to a speech therapist.
But that was the only help we got, going to the speech therapist. But there was no other organization that we knew of. We didn't know where to turn to get him any help. And then when he got into kindergarten and first grade, it was apparent that he really couldn't be in a regular class. There was something that he wasn't getting. And eventually we knew there was a problem, and we actually had an intelligence test done on him. And I remember the day the results came back, and I think his IQ was around 70. And it was just, at that time, devastating. And at that point, we really realized that our child was developmentally disabled, learning disabled, whatever you want to call it, but things just weren't going to be normal for him throughout his life. Throw in the epilepsy, which started occurring at 10 years old, and we had quite a challenge on our hands. Thank goodness we started to get some help within the public school system and had some wonderful teachers who helped him and nurtured him and got him a job. He started working at a pediatric clinic. He lived with us to age 29, got into a group home August of 2008, and has flourished ever since. Continues to work, has 4 good friends. He lives with housemates, a great caretaker family. I guess in the end, for a kid with a developmental disability and at one time a severe case of epilepsy, he's a success story.
Yes.
And he would have been, I suppose, more of a success story had we had the services of a place like Little Red Schoolhouse.
You know, I think if I would have had somebody, a place for where Timmy would have gone, where somebody had all of the needs that he needed, and they would work with him, and then they would work with me and say what I could have done at home, or even to explain the kind of child that you have, you're going to need to teach him everything. He's not going to learn by watching you do things.
Back then, there weren't those services. We were not aware of them. But for the people who come along now who have children with challenges, life's better for them.
Been really tough, you know, coming to the realization that she hasn't been progressing the way that our older daughter has. So, you know, it's been a little bit scary. And I knew in my heart that something was wrong, but then when the doctor told us, it was like just confirming that.
You know, when you first get that diagnosis, they're testing for awful things.
And I think the first part of it was just resetting expectations because we wanted to fix it right away. And with Little Red, they kind of coached us and go at Ellis speed, you know, take it day by day. She's not maybe going to be walking right away, but it's okay. It was a really positive experience because right away they were helping us with pointers.
I think at the beginning of our journey with Little Red, there was a lot of uncertainty. They made it definitely less stressful and easier for us to transition into the next stage of our journey.
Part of it is just finding out what's been motivating for her. So like she loves music, she loves things that light up. April started coming and visiting us every week.
And then the other services that they can provide, because we have a child educator that comes in, we've had a speech therapist that comes in, has helped us guide us down those paths, as well as, you know, we've dealt with a psychologist on staff, which at first we thought we don't need a psychologist, but after talking to her, we found out it's really nice to have somebody to talk to. Little Red has really helped us. I mean, they've helped our daughter immensely get to where she's at today, and we know she wouldn't be there without Little Red Schoolhouse. Having Little Red come into our life let us get back to our daily life again. It's truly where it was, is the fear of the unknown. And if we didn't have those early intervention services, we would have been
Lost.
we would have been a mess. There's no doubt about it. We would have been absolute train wrecks. I mean, I would have to say we feel very comfortable working into the next stages of our daughter's lives. And that's some of the explanations and expectations that Little Red has helped us, you know, attain now and have going forward.
The biggest help has just been feeling like we have a support system, like a network to help us. I think it would be such a lonely experience.
And that's where these services, early intervention, Little Red Schoolhouse, can really, really, really help a lot of people.
For the people who come along now and who have children with challenges, life's better for them.